and welcome to the afternoon session on VG Media, where we talk about where we live stream the ongoing election going on in Ondo State presently. The Ondo election is here and it's eating up with the stakes higher in this live gripping video session. We delve into the political arena of Ondo State, where the fate of the Ondo people hangs in the balance, with the incumbent Lucky Aiyedatiwa representing the APC, the formidable Agboola Ajayi of the PDP, Abbas Mimiko of ZLP, Zenith Labour Party, Bamidele of the SDP and Ebiseni of the LP leading the charge. The clash between this titan is set to define the future of the Sunshine State.
What will be the key issues at play? How will INEC shape the electoral landscape? Join us as we explore the candidates, visions and missions, the party dynamics and the pulse of the electorate in the lead-up to the Ondo Election 2024. Whether you're a staunch supporter or a curious observer, exclusive insights and expert opinions actually await you. Your voice will matter as Ondo decides. Join us on Viewpoint, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue with Barrister Ondo Ajayi of the Accountable Leadership for Better Nigeria Initiative, an observer platform for the Ondo State elections. I'm Odiawa AI.
And I'm Ola Itumbabatunde. I am Ola Itumbabatunde, your host for Vigilant Podcast. Vigilance is derived from the word vigilant, which means to keep a keen eye and sharp mind on situations around you, and that is exactly what we do on Vigilant Podcast.
Ouch! Remind me of how we spill the truth on Vigilant Podcast. Trust us, we don't leave any truth unspilled.
Vigilance is not just a podcast, but it is a medium to discuss everything Nigeria, ranging from politics to economic trends and public opinion.
To listen to us, go to Spotify, click on the search bar and type in Vigilant, and there we are good to go.
Every policy put together, every economic and business decision made by the local, state and federal government, and even the private sector, can affect how you spend, how you save, and how you invest, and eventually your personal economy. My name is Awe, and I invite you to join me on Market Square every Friday, where I share with you business and economic updates so that you know the implication of what is happening around you and you can plan with regards to your personal economy. Follow Video Media on YouTube and all our social media platforms. I look forward to your company on the show. See you soon.
You're welcome back. The show is Viewpoint, where we discover perspective and embrace dialogue. In the Ondo State election, we have with us Barrister Ondo Ajayi of the Accountable Leadership for Better Nigeria Initiative and Observer Platform for the Ondo State.
Good morning. Good morning. What's happening here? There's no problem, sir. But there's problem, I can see. What's happening? There's no problem, sir. There's no problem, sir. What's in your hand? It's mine. Sorry. Talk to me. Bro, I'm a man. Talk to me. There's no problem, sir. There's no problem. But there's a problem. There's no problem, sir. What's the list here? Bro, what's the list here? We are not fighting. We are not doing anything. We are not doing anything. We are not fighting. We are not doing anything. We are not fighting. We are not fighting. No. We are not fighting. I know we are not fighting. I know we are not fighting. Man, calm down. I know we are not fighting. But at the same time, I'm not a baby, and I know what is happening here. You know what is happening here. You are a youth. I'm a youth. I know what is happening here. You also know what is happening here. You understand? So now you telling me that nothing is happening here. It's as if you are trying to fool me. No. You are buying votes here. No. You are buying. Bring the list. Bring that. Let me have that list. Let me have that list. Let me have that list. I'm on record. We are not fighting. We are not fighting. I am addressing you. I'm also addressing you. You are buying votes here. And I know. We are not buying. And I know you are buying votes here. You are buying votes here. You are buying votes here. See. You are buying votes. We are not buying. You are buying votes here. We are not buying. You are buying votes. Don't tell me that. Bring the money. Let me address you. See, the list is with you, and I know your face is already on camera. I can say it anywhere. Your face is already on camera, and you people will not go. I should better leave here. You see now. You. Ensalo. Even though.
All right, Odewa. With what you can see over there, it's obvious that these people are buying votes, although they said they weren't buying votes. But with the list and the money, it's pointing to the fact that they definitely are buying votes. What can you say about this?
Well, we could read the guilt all over the vote buyers. Yeah. They couldn't even defend themselves because they're practically caught in the act. Now, the thing is, we are not even helping ourselves or even helping the situations. I don't know what party they might be representing, as we could see for the amateur footage, which was just popping up from there. You engage in vote buying. Are you ready to suffer for the next 4 years? People, okay, now we hear figures from there. It's in the southwestern language, Yoruba, Okpe 3,000, and Salo, or something. You know, it's crazy. Now you're left with 3,000 naira. With 3,000 naira actually lasting for 3 years.
She said that he removed 3,000 naira from the 10,000 that was supposed to be given.
So she was actually meant to be getting 10,000 naira.
But then she got 7,000
Okay, now let's do the arithmetic. Now, 10,000 naira per day, per week, or per hour, per minute. Now, how long is it going to last? Now, we should be looking at this now. It's quite repulsive and annoying. Now, why? Because we keep complaining that the government is doing this or the government is doing that when we ourselves are not even helping the situation. Now you have actually got your right. Your vote is your right. It's long I heard that. I only heard that last in 1999. I hardly hear when they say vote is your right now. They don't spell or sell that out now to the electorate to actually know. And they don't even educate the electorate well enough to even know their actual rights when it comes to voting or their franchise, which they should actually showcase in public. Now, this fellow now who has actually secured that amateur footage now to expose the people now, you're saying we're not fighting. Yeah, we're not fighting. Then why don't you stand and defend yourself? If not that a particular party has not actually outsourced to you to engage in illegal act or illicit act such as vote buying. Vote buying is a characteristic feature that will never actually, I'll say, get out from the adjectival description of electoral practices here in Nigeria. It's actually come to stay, but it will take a very long time before it gets out of the way. So what will people, I will actually not just complain, I will actually prefer solutions. It should be a case of the electorate being sensitized, educated and well-informed duly, not just at the 11th hour, as we said in the morning session of the show, but weeks before the election should take place. You don't just come, why? Because, okay, you can feel you just gather some Ghana must go at the back of the trunk of your car, or you come and entice people with some customized branded noodles and pure water bags or Gary bags. Why? Because, you know, bag of rice is 100,000 something plus. We should actually come in with sellable ideas that will actually build the people or emancipate people from poverty so they don't restrict themselves to choosing fish over the hook, not knowing how to fetch fish at the end of the day in the long run.
All right. I think watching the footage, it actually angered me. I don't know why. I was really pissed because knowing that we keep clamoring for change, we keep clamoring for people to stop vote buying, and it keeps happening. Now, what really angered me is the fact that I am in the realization.
Sorry to cut you, we intend to breathe, and people, they are still being choked with short-term ideas. So,
like, I'm pained because I know that 10,000 naira, if you go to the market today, you'll not be able to buy enough that would feed you for a week. And then we're planning to sell your vote for 4 good years for 10,000 naira. And then after the whole thing, you start to complain that the person that won the election, which you sold your vote to, is not doing well. You don't have the right to come out to complain and all of that, but then would not also blame the people well, why still on the side of the people? Why I'm still pointing fingers at the people saying what they're doing is wrong? But then I feel the situation of things in the country, these people already know that the people are suffering, so they are weaponizing that, and they know that once they offer them something, they would want to take it.
I will say, okay, to add on what you said, I will say poverty has actually been weaponized by,
Nigeria,
I will say, the professor we interviewed in the morning session actually regarded them as the political elite.
Yeah.
They have actually weaponized poverty and made a structure on ground or put it in place to actually make sure the poor stay poorer, and they begin to look up to them.
Yeah.
And they have institutionalized some ideological things on ground, such as ethnicity and religion. You see more of billboard churches, churches on billboards for salvation, rather than jobs and ideas to make sure people are actually brought out of poverty. In today's world, you don't necessarily need to be dependent on your BSc or your MSc or your PhD. What skills do you have? This is what we expect from the government, to build them out of poverty. You don't come every 4 years or maybe every off-cycle elections to come and deceive people. Why? Because you need to. It was quite bad before, 10 years ago or 15 years ago. People come outside with wheelbarrows and hoes in the name of, you know, propagating a better agricultural system. But for crying out loud, we go to the Western world, we see mechanized farming. Why can't that be applied here? So someone who is actually operating a tractor doesn't necessarily need a BSc to operate a tractor. Definitely. He can go to a safety school, and when he goes to that safety school, he knows how to secure himself as regards operating the mechanized facility for the farming. Say, for instance, you need to make your cornflakes. Now it's actually gotten from corn. So there's a process in which the mechanism will actually flow from that mechanized farming to actually make sure there's food on the table. Now that's someone who is secured with a job. No doubt about that, AI is actually taking people's jobs now, but there is still more the government can actually do. If we can have the next video, let pop up so we know what we can talk about before while we wait for our guest.
I've just casted my vote on Unit 05 for Ward 4 in the larger local government area of Ondo State.
Bring down your mic now.
And my unit and the community has been calm and peaceful, and the turnout is very, very encouraging. And I want to believe that the same situation will be at the other locations across the state. It's peaceful here. I believe it should be peaceful in other locations.
How would you describe your deployment of security agencies for this election?
I want to commend the security agency, the police, the civil defense, and the military at the background. They are heavily deployed to be able to attend to any security threat, and I believe the people will comport themselves. We are peaceful people in Ondo State. Ondo State has been adjudged to be one of the most safest and peaceful states in Nigeria, and we'll be having our elections in a peaceful environment, and this very one will not be different. The citizens, they are law-abiding, haven't been sad for the past 10 months. Instead have been very, very peaceful, and they know what they want and who they want. So I believe the election will be very, very peaceful, credible. I went through the whole process of accreditation before casting my vote, and I believe the INEC officials will do the same at every location. So I want to believe that the process will be very, very transparent.
All right, so looking at the situation of things and what Lucky Aiyedatiwa said, it's obvious that the election climate in Ondo State is actually peaceful compared to the Edo election, whereof the candidate said everywhere is peaceful, but then we later saw video of bullets flying up and down. But looking at the videos, the clips that we have there, it's obvious that everything is calm and is peaceful in Ondo State. He said that Ondo is one of the most peaceful states in the country. Well, yeah, I would also agree to that, because looking at it now, everywhere seems to be peaceful. Well, what can you say about the clips?
Well, from the clips I have seen, even from the one which you watched earlier on,
okay,
where there was a vote buying, it was amicably resolved, even though the wrong act was being committed.
Okay.
But from the polling stations in which we've seen now, from the amateur footage, now we can see that probably Ondo State is actually an ambassador for peace. So I was arguing with a friend the other time. Why? Because no holds barred. As you said, bullets were flying from my state. Why? Because probably I would say because the opposition was in power, so they tried to maintain dominance, a do or die affair thing. We know how heated that last election actually was. It was more personal for the candidates or the parties or the godfathers more than the people. But the people spoke at the end of the day. So let's see what the Ondo State's elections will turn out to be. From the part of Lucky, he actually emphasized on the security officials.
Yes.
I want to say so far so good. No anomalies have been heard of, but the DSS, when I was watching, reading a particular headline, they had actually picked up a few people engaging in vote buying. So I would say the civic responsibilities which are being undertaken now in the Sunshine State, I would say is undergoing a civil pace, whereby there is no form of rancor, where there has to be some kind of a misunderstanding or fisticuff or bloodshed.
Okay, so I think I also agree to that, and I would also believe that whatever they're saying in regards to the, there was this fear of, probably the security men are just put there in order to scare the people and intimidate them. But with the look of things, I feel like since everything seems to be going on smoothly, probably they're just doing their job. But let's talk about Lucky Aiyedatiwa. What kind of person do you think he is? And do you think he has an advantage? Let's put the incumbency aside. Yes, we know that he has the upper hand because he's the incumbent governor and he can control things behind the scenes. But regardless, what kind of person do you think he is? And do you think he is the best fit for this position?
Well, I would say from his personality alone, I would say he's the best fit for the position. Why? Because we talked about loyalty in the morning session, and where our guests had to make mention of the Democrats and the Republicans. If you're a Republican, you're a Republican. If you're a Democrat, you're a Democrat. You cannot begin to find why, because you find yourself in a multi-party system such as Nigeria. You have the PDP, the APC, the ABGA, the Labour Party. So tomorrow you're decamping, next tomorrow you're cross-carpeting. Why? Because of personal interest, not just the interest of the people whom we should actually represent. So it's a case of you being a Judas. Why? Because you might be armed with the ideologies of this political party, and then you decamping or cross-carpeting to this particular party, you might end up selling off the ideology or ideas to that party, which keeps that party at an advantageous state. It could be intellectual property. It could also be financial property. Okay, what is the net worth of this particular political party? Okay, this is so person who is actually who is the pillar of this political party. How do we get this person off that party to cripple their foundation? So these are the mathematics you need to map out in the game plan of politics.
But talking about ideologies, the guest we had this morning said majority of these political parties, if not all, they don't even know their ideologies. They don't know where they stand. And I don't know. I just believe that seems to be the truth, because if you ask any Nigeria, what is the difference between APC and PDP, majority of them will tell you, during this particular person's party, during this party, if this party is in government, one thing we know is people do not suffer. But when it comes to this party, people suffer. That is the only thing people can say about them.
I would say Nigerians should actually outgrow this stereotyping. Why? Okay. Because we go online and then we've seen some caricature animated pictures being made about the administration of Yaradua, Jonathan, Buhari, and Tinubu. So it's a thing of not the people now or the helm of affairs who are actually working. We should also look at those who are working under them. How well have they performed? We look at the recent cabinet reshuffle by Tinubu. They were not actually performing, and he had given them an ultimatum. So we should not just point fingers at the personality we should also look neck deep into people working under them. They've been giving directives and orders. How well have they performed under those orders or directives? Those are things we should look at.
But can we really blame the people? Even these party members do not even know where they stand. So we can't blame the people for not knowing where each political party stands at this point.
Then it therefore means that even sensitization and education should not just end with the electorate alone, but also the party members also should be well informed.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with you on that.
I think we should be having our guests in due time. If he is not yet available, I think we could keep up with the discussion.
Yeah, and also some of the videos can actually pop up, and then, you know, we'll talk about it. Now, let's talk about the man who was arrested with money at, we don't know what's at the inside his trunk, but then we could see a bag in there. And then, you know, there's been comment of people saying the DSS do not know what they're supposed to be doing. They were not supposed to stop him and, you know, tell him to open his bag and all of that. And another person said it could be explosives that were inside the bag. But then can we blame the DSS for doing what they're doing? Fine, it might not be in their line of duty, but yeah, they did it. But can we really blame them for doing what they did?
Well, if we flash our minds back, historically speaking, there was a massacre which was actually politically masterminded back then, where there was full onslaught or slaughter of innocent war, to be specific. Yeah. So you will not blame an event such as an election taking place during this period now, not making whereby security agencies will not be on their 10 toes. Definitely they will. So anybody will be a suspect. Why? Because of the rampant prevailing insecurity. I think we have a guest on the show now. Hello, Barrister.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Barrister Monday. Yeah. Barrister Monday is the representative for the Accountable Leadership for Better Nigeria initiative. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Olaito, and with Odeawa would be, you know, asking you questions in regards to the election going on in Ondo State today.
Thank you very much. I'm available for you.
All right. Now, party leaders, state governors from various political parties, stalwarts and other chieftains of other parties stormed Akure, the Ondo State capital, to drum up support for their party's candidate. What factors do you think will influence the voting decision of the Ondo electorate in the election, and how might these factors shape the future political landscape of the state?
To speak, I'm in a particular location here called Aijetiwa. Sadly, with all the paranoia and the large numbers of party leaders that came to Ondo State, it has not in any way helped the electorate to come out to all the areas we have been to. It has been poor outing. Well, you can imagine a place where we have 1,810 people are voting there. You can know and you can guess the result of that election is as poor as you observe too. So it has not in any way affected the outcome of people coming out to vote. The whole place that we have visited is just poor outings, except few places that maybe we have recorded 100 plus 200. So it's a very sad situation as regards voters apathy in those states.
That's sad.
Quite sad indeed. You actually said or took the words out of my mouth, voter apathy there. It therefore means that on the part of INEC, a lot of sensitization wasn't actually done, or educating or informing the people. And of course, probably money must have gone to waste on the campaign part of the political parties. Moving on, INEC has actually replaced, or actually barely within how many hours to the election date, which is today taking place, they had replaced the Labour Party candidate, Olushola Abisheni, with Dr. Olorunfemi Ayodele Festus. INEC disclosed this in a statement released on its official social media platforms in compliance with the ruling by the Court of Appeal. What implications now does the Court of Appeal's ruling to restore Dr. Olorunfemi Ayodele Festus as the Labour Party candidate have on party strategies and voter support in today's elections?
Well, from an angle, that's a victory, empty victory, because the coast is on already and there's still Labour Party can do. As I move around here, it has been a conflict between APC and PDP. I've never, whether by error or by omission, come across anybody Labour Party agent, and it's as sad as that. So it's just like a wasted victory, a victory that doesn't have any effect on the candidate. That's the way I see it, sir.
All right. With what you just said, I would like to also know, knowing that the people had known the candidate they would want to vote for, and probably they've pledged their allegiance to this particular person, and now the INEC switched this person within few days. Don't you think this might have tampered with the loyalty and might have created fear in the heart of the citizen who might want to come out to vote? Maybe that is the reason why we have the low turnout.
Oh, the network is bad there.
I think we lost him there. So I think he should come
I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
I think she'll go over that again.
Yeah, thank you very much, Odiawa. So I was asking you, people did not come out to vote because of one thing or the other that we might not know. But then there's this sudden change between Shola Ebiseni, few days to the election, knowing that Shola Ebiseni had come out to campaign to the people. Do you think, or what do you think about this? Don't you think this might be the reason why there's a low turnout at the polling unit? Because this might have created fear in the heart of the people and then create doubts too.
If I may comment, common saying that if this one can happen to a fresh tree, how much more dry one? The two major are struggling to get people to vote for them. How much more a party who has not really gained ground? Move around. I'm being objective. I've moved around. Of course, we don't have any reason to support any party. But I'm disappointed that Labour as a party are not really even serious about this election. I've told you earlier, I've not even come across anybody mentioning their name, talk less of having an agent representing them at the polling unit. So with Ebiseni or with the other person who have been changed, it doesn't make any difference. Even the sitting party in the state, they still find it difficult to galvanize electorate to vote for them. So you can bad the situation. People are just even tired of the system. And why I will not even blame INEC much. Parties that are involved, they are the ones that are supposed to educate their members to come and vote. INEC has nothing to lose. It is the party that are looking for power and they're the one looking for person to vote for them. It's a man with a thorn in his flesh that look for a man with a pin. But they refuse to do what is needed on their part to educate members why they should come out and vote for them. They start and they are waiting for the question we should ask ourselves: if INEC failed to educate members, who suffer at the end of the day? Is it INEC that will be declared as winner or the political party? So we must blame the political party for not doing their own work and educating their members on need for them to come out and vote for them.
Okay, that is an extensive explanation of voter apathy on the part of political parties and their refusal to inform their followers. Moving on, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has described members of opposition parties in the country as reactionary politicians. Now, what do you think this term, reactionary politicians, implies about the political landscape in Nigeria, and how might this framing influence, voter perceptions and decisions in the upcoming elections?
With respect to Mr. President, he's entitled to his own opinion. I may not understand what he means by reactionary politicians. People are free to choose whom they want to vote for, whether Labour, whether APC, whether PTP, SDP, or what have you. People are free to do that. You see what happened in America a few days ago. We don't need to go to that extent and describing other political parties as reactionary political parties. You face your business, and if we are able to talk in that manner, both all the political parties, are they not reactionary political parties? We may ask. But to me, Mr. President is entitled to his own opinion, and that's what he has expressed, and nobody can take that one away from him.
All right, so far we've all been talking about the credibility and the integrity of INEC. Now, prominent election monitoring group Yaga Africa had called on to INEC to uphold its credibility during the governorship election in Ondo State. What measures could be implemented to ensure that INEC maintains its credibility during the Ondo State governorship election, and how can these measures be effectively communicated to both the public and the election officials?
If I may have my way, with all sincerity, as far as the area I've covered today, I've never seen anything wrong that INEC has done. INEC has played its own part, but people refuse to come out and vote. And what they'll be waiting for is how to analyze and criticize what they refuse to participate in. It's an unfortunate situation. As far as I'm concerned, for today, I may not know what happened in a few hours' time, but as I speak, INEC have been trying their best. In fact, the particular location I find myself here, you'll be surprised that the INEC official here, they have to suffer. They don't even have table where they will put their matters. In fact, the venue they use, somebody have to cut the grass for them. There's no coverage, not even ordinary water for them to drink. And they are still doing their work happily. So have they not tried in this regard? But people that are supposed to come out, all what they are saying is that if whether you vote or no vote, they know what this common thing that doesn't help anybody. That's the situation we find ourselves. On my own part, from what I've observed, without sounding being exaggerative, INEC has been doing well from all the area I've covered. Their mode of talking to people, civil, very simple, and then they attend to every situation that comes their way. So to me, I don't have any grudge against INEC, but I'm talking about now. I don't know what few hours will say.
Okay, it therefore means that the preparations were quite poor, particularly for the ad hoc staff, which INEC had actually sought for this election exercise.
You're absolutely right. You see, we must get it right. We are human beings. You cannot put human beings under this type of conditions since 8:30, and I'm sure they must have resumed before that 8:30, before coming here, starting the voting pattern 8:30. And at that stage, you can't expect them to get their breakfast. But now that they are here, I expected INEC to take care of both their staffs and the adult staffs. We are human beings. Water, refreshment should be made available to them because, you know, the season as we speak now, there's no room for you to go and look for food. They can't leave their ballot boxes and their mouth and be looking for food. INEC should be the one to make provision for this. And they are human beings. So I thought anything worth doing is worth doing well. INEC has failed in this regard.
Okay. All right, sir. So I think I would agree with Barrister Monday because talking about the welfareism of the INEC officials, we talk about how these people can be bought. But then when there is no proper welfareism for them, then it's definitely easy for them to be bought. Vulnerable. Exactly. Now, I think I spoke with someone who is going to be working in Ondo State, and he talked about the poor place where they were kept yesterday. He was talking about the mosquito bites and all of that and how they were not being taken care of. And we still clamor for, we want credibility, we want this, we want that, when we don't take care of the people who are in charge of those things. I think one of the reasons why the people who works in oil companies or CBN gets paid well is because they don't want them to steal from the companies. But if these people are not worth taking care of, then it makes them very vulnerable to all the attacks that they get. Thank you very much, Barrister. Now, what historical precedent in Ondo State politics could influence the strategies used by candidates in the upcoming election?
No, with networking this way, whether this story.
I think we lost him a bit there. Can we? Hello, Barrister Monday, are you there?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you. I think that, Akura is rocky. Okay. You can understand that the network can be fluctuating at times. I can hear you live and direct now.
All right, thank you very much. What have been the roles of the national leadership in each political party's ambition, particularly the PDP and the APC?
Well, from one angle, the style of political party we operate in Nigeria is everyone to his own and to his own family. It is what you will grab that everybody is fighting for, not for the entire society anymore. A party leader wants to get Jeep. If he has gotten one today, he wants to get the latest one tomorrow. So everybody is after their own selfish interest, not the interest of the populace anymore. And that is why people are tired, that we can't continue to be serving some of these individuals and be wasting our resources and be following them here and there. So that is why there is apathy everywhere. In fact, if you move through the town now, you see them using their Jeep, almost crushing even voters who are trying to vote for them. It's as bad as that. So, of course, you are in Nigeria, you know what is happening compared to what you see in America and other countries that people are going there to serve. But in Nigeria, the reverse is the case. And that's very, very unfortunate for us. And that's why we're not making headway. The moment you get to politics today, even if your father cannot buy a motorcycle or bicycle yesterday, tomorrow you begin to buy aircraft and nobody question how do you get this money. And our security agencies, they are not also helping matters because you see them, they are the one also guiding some of these individuals who supposed to question their source of income. Unlike what happened in America, if you live above your income, you see the agency that will come and question how do you get this money. But here, they also serve as their orderly up and down. And that's the situation we find ourselves. So unfortunate.
Okay, if I'm getting you right, Barrister Monday, it therefore means our people are not even well-equipped enough to even govern us. They're only well-equipped to govern their pockets.
You are absolutely right. Nothing more, less than that, sir.
Okay, moving on.
And that's why you see a members of APC today, tomorrow he will cross to PDP, and next week he cross back to Labour, and third week he cross back to APC. Did you see that doing in America? It's not done in America. No matter how, it's just like Arsenal fan. Whether they are losing, they are winning, they stick to the club. That's a principle. But in Nigeria, we all have harlots everywhere, political harlots. They marry this party today, tomorrow they divorce. It shows that they are not principled. And when you see a man behaving in that manner, how do you expect or entrust that person with the interests of the society? It's a harlot. And you know the features of a harlot, politically and morally. So that's the type of politician we have in Nigeria today, sir.
Okay, I got one phrase, and it's quite amusing. Political harlot. It therefore means that there's no form of loyalty or a personality of a Judas we will find in our politicians. You will agree, right?
Well, exactly.
And I also believe that shows how selfish they can be, because if you're for the people, then there is no need to be a prostitute, like you said. You can just stay with one party and show the people how much you want to give them and how much you care about them.
Just like Christian marriage, for better, for worse. You stick with your wife, for better, for worse. But in Nigerian politics, the moment they discover that one party is winning, all what they're after is what they are going to grab. They decamp, and they are not shameful of themselves. They do it happily as if that's the order of the day. And that's so sad in our society.
Okay, away from the harlotry in politics now, let's come back to the issue on the ground now. I want to believe now there must have been technological advancements applicable now in today's elections for the PVCs, the BVAs, the uploading for the IREPs. Later on, I want to believe when the result announcement is going to take place. How can technology be leveraged more to enhance voter engagement and participation in the Ondo State governorship elections? Of course, in today's world, we have been hearing about the fact of the AIs, the artificial intelligence. How can INEC leverage on technology for the current election, using this as a landmark for kickoff?
To me, in every artificial test we try to adopt to you, there must be what we call human face that operate the system. It's about sincerity of hope. Okay. If you gather the whole gadget in the whole world down to Nigeria, and the actors who are going to operate this gadget are not sincere, they are not committed, they don't have good mind for the society. Of course, what you garbage in, that you garbage out. They will still maneuver some of these things. But as you speak, all the devices they are using here, they are all functioning well. But let us wait. Because it's just like what happened a few months ago. What we discovered at the polling unit is different thing, but what we saw somewhere else is another different thing. That's why I say, for now, I'm being restricted to this moment as I'm speaking to you. All the systems are working, but I don't know what few hours will say.
Okay, typically few hours would actually, when you say few hours will say, are you trying to say that information which these are technological tools which INEC is utilizing will actually be doctored or tampered with?
There's this common thing that wonder shall never end, but in Nigeria, wonders has ended. Anything can happen in Nigeria. It has happened in some other area. This is not my first time I was serving. I was in Edo a few months ago. In my own polling unit, I was shocked what I saw later. But life goes on. And that's Nigeria. That's why I said we must be committed to this project. All of us must be serious and be willing to put Nigeria in the right shape. Otherwise, this heaven will collapse on all of us, and all of us will feel the pain.
Quite tragic.
All right, you took us back a little bit to the Ondo election, which you were also there to observe. During the interview with the people who brought him during that time, they said something about the power of the traditional leader over there in Ondo State. So I would like to ask, in Ondo State, we know that the Oba of Benin is revered in Ondo State. How significant is the influence of traditional leadership and community elders on the voting behavior of Ondo State's residents?
The question we should ask ourselves, how many of the Obas and the royal father can even control their own immediate family? Do they have a say in their immediate family? Let's forget about this idea of royal father. It is not business as usual. With apology and with respect to the royal fathers, they have lost their reputation. When you see a royal father taking side with one politician, you know that royal father, there's nothing royal in him again. A royal father should bless everybody that comes to his palace at his walls and bless them as his children. But when you see a royal father declaring for a political party, there's nothing royal in him anymore. And that's why the gods are also looking for the royal fathers. Just like what happened in Lagos when they took away the Lagos Abbas crown. They said something will happen. I said the gods are also looking for the Oba of Lagos because they have contravened the sanctity of that royalhood that they occupy. In those days, when you see royal father speaks and talks, there's fear for everybody. But when the respect is no longer there, you see royal father where they're supposed not to be today, you see them there. You see them dining, whining with people that they're supposed not to eat and dine with. Then where do you have the reputation coming from? Even the Oba of Benin influence you are talking about, let me say with all sincerity, Oba of Benin influence did not affect anything. I'm saying it with all sincerity. Because those who are coming from the house, is the Oba of Benin that is feeding them? Is it the one that is going to top for them? People voted towards their own direction. This idea of you appear before one cabinet says, don't worry, all my community will vote for you, that is a pure lie. He cannot even control his wife. He cannot even control his children. It's just a means to collect money from all these politicians. That's why I see them declaring for some of these politicians. They are also selfish. They are also part of the problem we are facing in Nigeria. The royal father. I have no apology for saying this.
Okay, before I move on, are you trying to say our royal fathers are gullible enough to be tilting towards the demands of our politicians for their selfish gains?
Well, the moment you take over that position of being a royal father, there are some do's and don'ts you must operate with. But as we speak now, what is forbidden for a royal father is what they are eating now, even not in the secret, in open daylight. So how do you expect them to earn that respect from the society? They have taken side. And when you see an elderly person in the society taking side, hardly can you give him that respect that he deserves. And that is the reason we find ourselves in Nigeria. I don't know anybody, whether royal father or royal father, that deserve any Nigerians respect anymore. Everybody's on his own now.
I guess you're trying to say that they've lost their value and all they think about now is their pocket and not the welfareism of the people in their community, which is really sad.
You are correct, man.
Okay, away from traditional rulers and they are losing their values, we wish to make sure that they actually retrace their steps. Moving on to the education reforms within Ondo State, how might the candidates actually position themselves on education reforms as it affects the chances of winning the state?
Well, you see, people always look for certain area to launch their campaign. Even though when they get there, they will do different things. I remember some years ago when I visited the state here, there is this regime under Labour, that's Mimiko, who make provision for transport facility logistics for students to and fro to their school and back to their nearest bus stop to their homes. But recently, some time ago, when I came back again, I discovered that those buses were parked somewhere. But when election is coming, you know, when election is coming like this, there's nothing you cannot see. Even those who cannot walk before, you see them walking immediately, just to deceive people, cajole them, and by the time they get there, they change their own policy again. But as we speak, I was also informed and I discovered that the buses are back to the street again. Whether it's for political reason, this question I cannot answer. Whether it's genuinely, this question I cannot answer. I think this is a question that God can answer because I know none of the mind of man except God.
All right. So in what ways can the Ondo State governorship election 2024 serve as a platform for addressing environmental issues in the region?
Naturally, there's no environmental challenges much here like some other Niger Delta zone. There's no much such here in Ondo State. So as some of this riverine area, and from information I gather, they are doing their best to also do the needful with the oil companies who are also coming to their aid. That is what I heard.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
It's a pleasure.
On a conclusive note, before we let you go, which I want to believe you should be joining us in due time from time to time. Definitely the current administration within the Sunshine State, Ondo State, is the APC government. And at the national level, we have the APC government. Recently in the Ondo State swearing in of APC candidate, Okwebolo, he actually made a key statement that whatever is due for Ondo State, they will actually be beneficial, be it grants or one aid or the other from the national level. Quite recognizably, we can see that Ondo State now has been on the advantageous side with the APC administration at the state level. What impact do you foresee in the ongoing national political dynamics having on Ondo State after the elections?
Anyway, I think the future will take care of itself. As we speak now, we don't know who's going to win this election. Until we know the actual person before we be able to provide a better answer to this question. But let's assume that APC is here at the national, it's also here at the state level. Of course, it has never been making any much difference. Look at states that are being controlled by APC. You also discover that they are not even doing better than the opposition. So what is the essence? This idea of a national whatever and whatever, it doesn't flow in Nigeria. In fact, it's more or less like also a cause, because under normal condition, when a state is in line with federal, you're supposed to see them working, but you also now discover that it's the opposition that are even doing better because they want to outshine the ruling parties. And that's what we are seeing in Nigeria. The opposition are even doing better than the state that are in line with the national stream.
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister Monday. We want to it's really appreciate you for clearing out time from the busy schedule on ground while you're there observing the elections.
Yeah, we are here for you, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
As I speak now, they have started counting the results here too.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We should hear from you in the evening session.
No problem. I'm available, sir. Thank you very much and have a nice outing there.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, beautiful people. Hi, I'm Olaitan Babatunde, your host for Vigilant Podcast. Vigilance is derived from the word vigilant, which means to keep a keen eye and sharp mind on situations around you, and that is exactly what we do on Vigilant Podcast.
Ouch! Remind me of how we spill the truth on Vigilant Podcast. Trust us, we don't leave any truth unspilled.
Vigilance is not just a podcast, but it is a medium to discuss everything Nigeria, ranging from politics to economic trends and public opinion.
To listen to us, go to Spotify, click on the search bar and type in Vigilant, and there we are good to go.
All right, I know you might be kind of confused and you are thinking, how real and how truthful is our results on Visi platform? Okay, calm down, let me explain to you. Yeah. The fact index works in a way we collect results from a lot of people in a certain polling unit, and then we give you an average sum of that particular result. The fact index will be measured by the location access we have to the people that are posting the particular updates. If we have the location turned on, we would have a higher fact index of that particular post, because we confirm that you are currently in that polling unit you are giving updates for. So we collect this result from these people posting updates in that particular polling unit, and we will give you a collated result on the VG platform.
Every policy put together, every economic and business decision made by the local, state, and federal government, and even the private sector, can affect how you spend, how you save, and how you invest, and eventually your personal economy. My name is Oluwatelumi Awe, and I invite you to join me on Market Square every Friday, where I share with you business and economic updates so that you know the implication of what is happening around you and you can plan with regards to your personal economy. Follow VG Media on YouTube and all our social media platforms. I look forward to your company on the show. See you soon.
You're welcome back to the show. The show is Viewpoints, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue. Right here, we're covering the Ondo State elections, and we're about to wrap up. Earlier on, we had our barrister Monday Ajayi of the Accountable Leadership for Better Nigeria initiative, with Babatunde Olaito grilling him with questions from happenings. What do you feel about Barrister Monday's observations from Ondo State?
Okay, so let's take a look at what the professor said this morning and what Barrister is saying. There seems to be a lot in common.
Okay.
You know, he talked about the candidates not knowing about their ideology, and also the barrister is also saying the same thing, more like they don't. He was also comparing the Democratic and the Republican in USA, just the same way the professor is saying. So this is to let us know that there is a lot to be done when it comes to sensitizing the political members of a particular political party. And also, he talked about how people are not even turning out for the election, and I can only look forward to what's going to happen this evening.
Well, we heard from Olaito, a comparative analysis from both the Professor John Abue, and also Barrister Monday Ajayi. Comparative analysis from the political parties, and also voter apathy, and also sensitization, not only on the part of the electorate, but likewise also the party members also. Everyone in entirety, all stakeholders, all political participants need to actually be well informed and educated concerning the happenings, not only on the Sunshine State, Ondo State elections, I beg your pardon, but in totality, any elections which is to take place. So far, so good. INEC has not received a fair share blame concerning the electoral exercise, but the welfare of its ad hoc staff, which is quite, I would say, quite dissatisfactory. We want to implore you to join us in the evening session. I'm Odiawa AI.
And I'm Olaito Babatunde. Hello, beautiful people. Hi, I'm Olaito Babatunde, your host for Vigilant Podcast. Vigilance is derived from the word vigilant, which means to keep a keen eye and sharp mind on situations around you, and that is exactly what we do on Vigilant Podcast.
Ouch! Remind me of how we spill the truth on Vigilant Podcast. Trust us, we don't leave any truth unspilled.
Vigilance is not just a podcast, but it is a medium to discuss everything Nigeria, ranging from politics to economic trends and public opinion.
To listen to us, go to Spotify, click on the search bar and type in Vigilant, and there we are good to go.
All right, I know you might be kind of confused and you are thinking how real and how truthful is our results on Visi platform. Okay, calm down, let me explain to you. Yeah. The fact index works in a way we collect results from a lot of people in a certain polling unit, and then we give you an average sum of that particular result. The fact index will be measured by the location access we have to the people that are posting the particular updates. If we have the location turned on, we would have a higher fact index of that particular post because we confirm that you are currently in that polling unit you are giving updates for. So we collect this result from these people posting updates in that particular polling unit, and we will give you a collated result on the VG platform.